Give me a sound check. Whoever just came in, please. Let me know if you can hear me fine and all that wonderful stuff. Sound check, please. All right, cool, good deal, good deal. Okay, thank you, Ja. Glad you can hear me. We'll give a few more minutes, just in case people are just tuning in. Noza better join too. And B-Rye, we need to get Andrew in here too so he can see this stuff live also. Let me, we need to do order book stuff too, so we need to look at a couple order books. Ooh, nice order books on WAN. I like WAN on the books here. All right, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. If anybody is running late or whatever, then no big deal. It will be recorded, of course. All right, so let's start with WAN. WAN is looking pretty good here. I do like this. First thing I noticed here, you got a double bottom here on the RSI, and it's actually a bullish divergence too, because match those lines up a little bit better. Move that down. All right, so got a double bottom on the RSI at the same point that our price made a lower low, while RSI remained flat. So this is an exaggerated bullish divergence, and you can see it right there curling back up. Oh, that didn't quite touch, so it's not an exaggerated bullish divergence, it's just a regular bullish divergence. RSI makes a higher low while price makes a lower low. So that's just a regular bullish divergence. When zoomed in like this, it looked much flatter. Well, you can see a little bit better there. Okay, in any case, so we are pointing to the 3-day chart here with a bullish divergence on WAN. You can see price action candles here. We've got some great support building right there. The 7-day moving average still hasn't rounded up yet. However, it looks like it will be within the next few days. I don't know when the next 3-day candle is, but it's still looking pretty good. It may happen tonight, so this may get a push back up. And you can see here on the MACD, look at the curl up on the MACD, bullish looking histogram. We can see that how price action follows MACD there and there. So if we were to correlate the MACD with the bullish push there, we can go from this point up to this point, which was about 50% in profits right there on that push. Now, it's not saying that we're going to see something similar all the way up here or anything, but it is looking pretty good from a 3-day standpoint. 2-day also looking good, a little bit more rounding there on price action. Just waiting for it to cross bull here. Look at the OBV. OBV is bullish right here, so that popped back up. Let's zoom back out to weekly. Now I know the weekly may be what scares a lot of people because everybody's expecting the MACD histogram right here to cross bearish and go red. However, I have seen several alt charts that haven't done that. So I'm playing these 3-day, 4-day, 2-day charts for these, 30-40% bounces, and then I'm out and wait for them to come back to consolidate and watch price action there. So I'm still scalping these, but these look pretty good for some nice pushes. Okay, so we saw, let me zoom into 12-hour here, and let me get rid of these notes. Okay, so we saw off of this push that occurred last night that it retested this breakout point right here from this last wick that was on the 26th of June. So you can see now 1, 2, 3 tests onto this resistance zone here. So this is our local break point. If I can spell today. Okay, and even here on the 12-hour, you can see all indicators are in an uptrend. We're looking for a cross here, 7-day over the 20-day, to get some kind of close here on this resistance zone here, or if it pushes up to the next target. But this is our local break point. So what this means is once we get a push over this line that we are in a very nice full bullish reversal, or at least a good reversal. So what that means is if we can get up over this price, then we'll head up to a next resistance zone, probably somewhere up here, and then we'll come back down and use this break point as a support resistance flip. So it's very, very important that we get a close here above 365. So we got about 10% more to go here looking at this 12-hour chart. Daily looks much, much stronger. However, again, we're still only looking for short-term pushes because we still have the 2-day and the 3-day and all that stuff that have not crossed full-on bull yet. So they haven't crossed. So we're still looking for these nice scalp plays here. So I suspect that if we can get a close over this break point, let me close my moving averages so we can see these resistance zones a little better. I'd like to see a target up here around 485. This might be a bit of a push. I think that's a little too big of a pop there. However, you never know. It is crypto. But I would definitely like to see this resistance zone right here test next. And I think this is a good cluster pocket there. I'm trying to find what I was backing that off of. I don't know. Don't remember. But you can see the size of these candles and this cluster zone here. So I want to see this zone somewhere test between 485 and 500. I'm not too keen on testing that high yet. That just seems a little bit too high of a push for me. Unless WAN has some kind of major news, something coming out, I just don't see it. So I'm going to play this zone right here up to here to about 480, 500, and then probably keep a close eye on it and step away, watch it come back, and support resistance flip here, and then catch a rebuy back around that point there before catch another reversal. So that's what I'm going to be watching for. So low time frames. Okay, so low time frames, looks like we already did a short-term support resistance flip here. You can see this whole section right here, some confluence and some candle tops and bottoms, and now it flipped, it looks like, right there at 320. It looks like roughly, yeah, about 320. Looks like a local support resistance flip. So not too bad. I would expect that it's going to probably kind of just flutter around and build a base before it gets that next push up, hopefully up to those targets. So it may kind of hang around in this zone for a few days, or not a few days, but several hours or so. zooming back out, that's what I like. I like that. That looks pretty good. Okay, so let me put my notes back on here. This is, I don't like that line. Breakout point. All right, so we want to get a close here above 360 or 365. Okay, so that's what that means. Because you can see how these candles and this candle or wick or whatever, and then this wick, how the price has been rejected 3 times now. So it's not suggesting that there's a full breakout yet. It has to get above this breakout point because you can see the clear space. Let me show you right there. Okay, so you can see the clear space up in this box between here and the next resistance zone up above. So that is what I'm going to be looking at as far as a breakout point. And I want to put a resistance zone 485, and we'll just go ahead and put another one around 500. I want to see this area get tested next because, again, I think this might just be too high. That's almost 80%. However, we certainly don't want to keep that off the table either. It looks a little bit better, a little bit more clear here on the 8-hour because you see some candle tops and wicks tops here, going through some candle bodies here, candle bottoms here, candle bottoms, wick bottoms, and then a little confluent zone right there. We may even bring this down just a little bit. I like that. That looks good. Okay, so this is what our potential looks like for WAN going into the next, I don't know, 2 days, maybe 3 days or so. Could see a potential 40 to 50% pop right here. It looks likely. Again, I want to see a breakout point with a close over 365 to confirm that we are going to push the next target. I want to see it rejecting that target and come back down for a support resistance flip here, and then we'll begin a new wave trend push up. So by coming up and then pushing back down, that gives these higher time frames that just aren't quite ready yet that chance to finish consolidating and get ready for the next push. All right, so that's what I see for WAN. We'll monitor this and see how it plays out. I have been holding pretty much since back here in mid-June, still around this 300, 315 Satoshi range. So finally sitting in a little bit of profit, and it looks like I'm going to eventually get my target. So we're going to keep this on watch right here. All right, so let's flip to the order books on WAN. You can see the clear monster amount of bid support here and very thin sell walls here. So if we look here at our bid support, here's a 1.5 Bitcoin almost. Here's a Bitcoin. Here's 2.5 Bitcoins at 320. So somebody's trying to hold this up to kind of push this up for the low time frames. And then let's look for, we want to see some big sell walls. So it looks pretty clear. Okay, we're going to start catching a little bit of resistance right here. Here's a 2 Bitcoin wall around 400. Let's see if we can go back all the way to 500. Not much at 500 either. Okay, but here is 530. Wow, it's just really kind of thin and scattered all the way back. Okay, so there was 530 was a little bit of resistance. Doesn't look like much at 500, and that 480 zone that we had plotted for resistance. Okay, so let's go back to our chart and see where 530 was, and I'm just going to copy that line. Okay, so 530 from that wall is suggesting here at the bottoms of these wicks and through here. That's okay too, even if we hit 500. Excuse me. That's another 6% up to that point. But if you're on DCX using Forex leverage, that's actually 24%. So that actually is a pretty significant difference just between 500 and that 530 target. So now that doesn't mean, though, however, that these are all just going to stay the same as this coin starts pumping. These walls, as it gets closer to this price, could start stacking up, or they can disappear altogether. And then once we get further up to 400, 500, you might start see walls start stacking and traders taking profit. So that's why we kind of watch both of our resistance zones that we look for and try to match them up with the order books, and then watch price action as they come up to this resistance zone. I would love, absolutely, of course, to see 600, because that'd be some really good profit there. But I think that's just too high when looking at some of these higher time frames. However, this whole cluster right here is a pretty nice resistance zone, no doubt, where we'll see some profit taking and a pullback. So pretty big gap here. Pretty big gap from the bottom consolidation pattern up here to these resistance zones. So we're looking at a minimum 40% with a maximum 80% potential within this zone right here. And it looks like it's gearing up. It's looking pretty good. Bids are coming rushing in because these were all down in the 280s, 290s just the other day. So market makers are pushing these walls up to push price up. And something told me last night, I was like, wow, Wayne, looks like it's going to pop. Watch it pop overnight while I'm sleeping. And something told me I should have set a sale at that previous wick, because I think that was one of the moving averages. Nope, maybe it wasn't. Yeah, I think I was looking at the 6 hour, and I almost set a sale up here at 380. But something told me I should have set a sale right there at that previous wick and these previous highs. That would have been a great scalp play, because I think I'm in at 315 or so. So let's see what that would have been. 15%, with Forex. Let's see, Forex, that's like 60%. So I would have had 60% profit had I had my sale at 360. But that's okay. That's all right. Bigger profits, bigger gains to be made if this catches a nice reversal. So I've been waiting on this for going on 2 weeks now, because I was in back here, I believe. Somewhere back here around 315 or so. So WAN is shaping up pretty nice. Doesn't look too bad. I'm digging. Look at that. Look at the 2-day getting ready to cross there. OBV is bullish. RSI is getting that curl up, so it looks not too bad right there. Noza is sharing. What you got? Yeah, 512 to 530. Yeah, so your fib line is right at the top of that 500 resistance zone area that I had, and that big wall that we saw was that 530? Yeah, it was at 530. I think that almost 80,000 wall was at 530. So right in that zone. Yeah, I mean that does look good. So your fib line is at the top of the resistance zone that I had. And you can see 467 here, which is the bottom of the resistance zone. I think mine was at like 480 or so. So we're pretty well on the same page here. You got your target zone right up here, which does look good. I can't agree with this, but I'm going to be skeptical of such a big push, because that is, what is that? That's okay, even from current price up to 530 is 60%. 60% profit, or 240% if you got Forex leverage on it. But even just as from current price, it's 60% up, so there could be quite a few profit taking going on in between those other two fibs. But I do agree with that zone there. So we're kind of right there on the same page. Looks good. Let's see yours, Ja. I like that you guys share these charts in live stream too, so we can share them with everybody else. I don't know what in the world you got going on right here. Seen similar pattern before. It's upward and great gains. Yeah. I mean, the weekly, this candle right here that you kind of got blotted out just a little bit. It's a weak sell candle, and then it's followed by the current weekly candle that we're on, this bullish green doji. So tonight here in about another 5 or 6 hours or so, when we catch the next weekly candle, it should be another green doji here. So it's going to signal that there is some consolidation there. But again, I'm not expecting a full reversal yet. I still like to see these resistance zones up here test, where I'll take profit, and then I'll watch price action from there to see if it falls back over the next few days for those higher time frames to get a further MACD reset or something. But I mean, yeah, it seems you, me, and Noza are all on the same page here. You got another chart you're sharing here. Okay, 12-hour. This looks like a wick off right here. This pattern here is the distribution phase of a wick off. It looked like it did a little similar here, but Bitcoin, of course, pumped, and it looks like it actually just killed that wick off pattern, unless this was the redistribution before the next markdown from a previous wick off pattern here. And now we'll begin a accumulation before a markup, and then a redistribution, and then another markup, and then we'll go back down or something like that. But that's what this is starting to look like. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Definitely good catch on the double bottom zone here if anybody happened to have caught that. So it seems like all three of us are about on the same page for WAN. Anywhere in this whole cluster right here, our targets are just very and slightly different, which is perfectly fine, because you don't want to get too much hopium trying to hit a fib line up here or next to a big order block, because traders and whales could start dumping right here at the bottom of this resistance zones, which we have seen quite a bit. Either way, so it seems like we're all on the same page between this 460, 470 zone up to about 530. But that's good though that we're all on the same page with that there. All right, so let's move on to Doc. I'm behind on some messages here. Aries, yeah, we can check ICX for your families. Yes, Noza, not all the time do whales display their bids and sales, but sometimes you can still kind of gauge where the big walls are going to be on the resistance zones. Okay, so Doc, talk to me. What's up, Doc? Okay, so Doc is showing, let me zoom back out here. So this is what I was talking about. I think I posted on Twitter, of course, is look at the overall structure of this. Now, this from listing, let's just even go from the bottom here. This was August of last year. We have seen nearly every alt go monstrously lower as far as their prices since last August. But Doc here sitting at 322 days and is only, even just from this bottom wick here, is only about 40% or so from this lower wick. So let's go back to WAN just for shits and giggles and see how much lower WAN is from August of last year. Okay, so here's August of last year. And let's go, I don't know, just from the bottom of this wick. So we're at almost 65, 70%, it looks like, from August capulation wick to where we wicked at down here for the lows here. So Doc has never really seen such a drastic drop in price, so I'm keeping a close eye on this. I don't think it's quite ready yet. When it was back up here in the 130s, this was a little bit more bullish, but you can see looks like it may starting to suggest some bottoming out here. Look at the MACD, and you can look at these candles here, these weak doji candles, these weak sell doji candles, and you can see it as we zoom in that this is just getting rounder and rounder, trying to curl out. So I don't think it's ready yet. I'd like to see something push back up into the 120s before really. I got a small bag of this, but before trying to go heavy, I'd like to see something push back into the 120s, 130s even, for some more confidence, I guess you can say. So 3-day, you can see trying to do a little something there too, and we just keep zooming in to build us a bigger picture on what's happening. 2-day. 2-day looking a little cautious there, and you see the 7-day moving average starting to round up, and prices held off of these doji candles here too. Now I made the reference in the comparison to REN. Okay, so you can see an almost identical pattern here. Okay, so this, if we were to kind of match these up, this peak here would, match this peak, and this peak would be here, this one here, and then these drops, and then, so Doc doesn't have the new bullish push just yet that REN did. It looks like it's a little behind here. But you can see that it's got a very similar fractal structure setup. So that kind of has me perked up too, because even REN, well, I guess from its, well, if we were to match these up, I guess we go from this point down to this point, is also a 40% drop from its low on listing to its current low. Which would be something similar from going from this low on listing to its current low. And then, of course, we just saw REN go on a very nice reversal. So if the timing is right and we're in Doc at a good price here, for example, now, of course, fundamentals do come into play on this. And I think Doc might possibly have something in the works with LinkedIn and all those data storage transfer, when you're job hunting and whatever. I think Doc is pretty much the LinkedIn of blockchain or something to that extent. So FA wise, fundamental wise, if they got something good coming out, because this does not look like a huge drop, and if you just saw, it looks very similar to REN. So if this were to catch a REN type reversal, I don't want to get that bullish yet. There is a 200% potential, even just back up to these major resistance zones right here at the top. That's 200%. With DCX, that's 800%. So it's got a lot of reversal potential, but again, I haven't checked out too much into their fundamentals, but just from a TA's perspective, even here on the 2-day, price lower low, MACD higher low, and RSI, you can see it there also a higher low. So it's setting in a bullish divergence and looks pretty good. So if this support here holds, this could be a bottom potential play with some serious potential profit on a good swing trade. But again, I'd like to see it get back into the 130s. So price action is probably going to retest to the 150s there off of this wick. Again, this is what WAN just did. WAN retested this wick on a similar structure play before a fallback, and then I'd like to see somewhere up here to retest there. Then these are shorter potential target plays here. Oops. Okay. So if you don't have a bag of DOC yet, that's fine. Let's wait on confirmation to get some strength back in the price, back into the 120s. So let's look at DOC's books. DOC doesn't look as good as WAN here does. But you can see big wall holding this whole puppy up, even though it's only 1 Bitcoin. It's a low volume coin, which does make it an easy target for a pump. This is an extremely low market cap coin, I think $6 million. So a whale could easily just pump 6 million in it and probably pump it 200% by himself. So it's an easy target for a pump group. Just nothing going all the way back. So this is, so like again, like I said, if we get up into the 120s, maybe 130s here, I like to see somewhere in the middle here. So this would give me a good bit of more confidence and strength in some price if we get back up into the maybe upper 120s, low 130s. So I have a small bag, and I'll probably add more if I see some of that push back up in here. Because I'd imagine if we start taking out these sell walls and start getting some low time frame closes here, we'll start to see all of this now down here as support. So DOC's got some good potential, but again, just by this weekly chart, I mean, this looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 weeks, 5 weeks out from a real strong reversal. So DOC could be a good August play, which is just right around the corner because we're already now in the first week of July. So I'm going to slowly ladder in and slowly build a position as we start to move up, or it's not start to move up, but as we start to see a little bit more strength here. But the 2-day here off of these divergences is worth noting. The support hold is worth noting. Looks like we've held this zone for about a week or so now. And this is most likely going to be our first major test of resistance right here. This is a pretty significant push right here. May even do the same that I'm looking for on WAN. Come up, come back down, support, resistance, flip, and then push back up. So that's what I see on DOC. So it's not a bad idea to not replace, but to start a small bag. I'm going to do some FA into the coin and see what they got coming up, because I have their notifications turned on and they've been kind of blowing me up lately. So I don't know what they got cooking. All right, Ethos BQX. BQX had a very nice first pop, and it looks like it's fell back into a pretty good reload zone. You can see here on the 3-day we do have some bullish histogram and bullish MACD. Weekly, so this is what I was talking about on WAN, when everybody's looking at the MACD coming down and then we're expecting it to cross under. But it got a very nice big push right there, and that was about a 70% push off of the bottom there. So that was a very, very, very nice push. 5-day, here we are bullish here. So it looks like we fell back into a nice support zone, so we can give this a few days to consolidate right here. So if, oh God, what a beaten down coin. And this is what I don't like. Where's my depth right here? Can I see the depth, please? This is what I don't like about low supply coins is the volatility can be great, but it's certainly not now so much if you're margin trading it, because, I mean, it can easily drop that 15-20% with nothing to hold it up, and then you're liquidated. Okay, so let's. I was watching this earlier, and I was like, man, BQX had a very nice push. You can see the push right there. Let me zoom in. So bottom, rode up, and then came back. Support resistance flip. As you see, it retested some support right here. See how all of that matched up for any newbies watching. And then it went on a very nice tear for a max of about 58, almost 60% right there, before falling back down to the 200-day moving average. So it looks like it's found some support here off of the 200-day, and it looks like it's actually kind of struggling there. So it may come back down once more. So we'll keep a close eye on that and see if that comes down anymore. But it looks like it's in a pretty good zone right there. You see the 4 hour trying to round up. Hey, Javi. No, you're not late. It's fine. No big deal. Hold on, Ja. What are you? Okay, never mind. I just saw your previous post, Ja, and it was your WAN chart that you were sharing. So even here on the 4 hour, you can see support hold right here off of the 100-day moving average and round up. So I would expect this to come back up to retest this previous high. And I might even consider taking profits there if you're playing this one for a double top. So this could very well come up, retest the double top, and it could fall back and make this a nice little 4 hour cup and handle. So I would watch for the retest of that previous high there. Let's look at, I think we did look at weekly. Yes, we did. 4-day. Look at nice MACD on the 4-day here. You can see the bullish cross and the histogram. So this is signaling that BQX, even in this reload zone that it's in, is going to go on a pretty decent reversal here, which would put targets up here. And I may just leave that one there. That's a high target. Man, that is just slaughtered, beaten down. But again, it's not to discourage anybody because, like we showed in the last live stream, if you look at U Network, another beaten down coin, and then U Network goes on a monster, almost 700% reversal. So I think we're going to start seeing from these high time frame charts like here on the 5-day, 4 days, and whatnot. I think we're going to start seeing some really beaten down coins that might have some good solid fundamentals start to go on some pretty nice reversal patterns here. So we definitely want to keep an eye on those coins that have those 4-day, 5-day crosses. So again, here on hourly. All right, so let's see where this support zone landed. And off the top, off the top, off the bottom, off the bottom, off the bottom. So good support resistance flip right here on that pullback. I wasn't watching this because I was looking for an entry, and I may have missed it, but I'm not going to get too discouraged because that's only 9% up. So it's still not too late to catch a long swing bag for me. I am going to try to wait for a little bit better price. So we zoom down, drop down to the 15-minute. Looks like it's got a gap right there. Looks like that little wick right there filled that gap though. I'd almost like to see a retest, just one more small down to about 1020. But 2 hour does not support it. Look at the nice little cross there on the 2 hour. All right, so that means we're going to do some kind of like wiggle zigzag pattern. Again, probably retest that high, and then come back, and then something like that. Because it's not just going to moon. It's it's got to build a base. It's got to build a new support zone here, or something like this. It's not just going to go straight up. So it's still not too late to catch a swing bag, because again, I do like the 4-day with the bull cross there. 5 days got a bull cross. 3 is already bull and all that wonderful mess. All right, so we're going to just re-put our note here for retest of previous high. Then we want to watch to see if this comes up and then catches another pullback. So this is just aware that if you're trying to scalp it, where your potential scalp targets are. So you could retest the high and scalp it. Let's just say if you get into current price, you got a 15% potential. It may not even go that high though. And then you can set your rebuy again at current price, because this isn't a full-on deep enough reset here. So the MACD is going to come up, and then it's going to come back down again, and then we're going to start to see the real reversal, which would do basically what I was drawing a minute ago. Retest previous highs, come back, consolidate, and rebuild some steam, and then get a push. So it's something to watch if anybody is in BQX. Still lots of good potential though. If we still catch an overall trend reversal, certainly the tops of all of these candles here, almost meeting the bottom of that wick there, would be a next good target to hit. And then of course, heavy resistance up here in the 1800s. All right, let's move on to CDT. CDT also had a very monstrous push. Oops, I don't know why I'm on that high of a time frame. CDT had a killer push. Khan over in Telegram, I think he was down here, and he was like, "Oh, wind moon," and all of that mess. And I think he sold here at the first top at 217, but didn't catch the reload down here before that mega push. I mean, that was a huge push. So I know he sold up here at the 217 area, but I don't know if he caught that. That's a shame though. So I'm gonna not advise grabbing CDT yet. You can see the MACD and the histogram getting weak here. OBV is in a downtrend. RSI is in a downtrend. So we're likely to catch a support rebuy zone right in here. About 174, 180-ish. I'd like to see this wick right here retest. Look at that wick, matching that wick, matching that wick. So if it gets into that zone, it would be a pretty good grab. But we're seeing right here, MACD is getting weak. It's got to go for somewhat of a reset. Price action is starting to curl over, come back, and then up. Now on the weekly standpoint, so we get a new weekly candle tonight, and I'm expecting it to open bullish, but I don't know how much that's going to hold. But the overall weekly structure, if you're looking for a long swing or a good swing trade, this has got a monstrous amount of potential. I mean, look how strong this candle is. Look at the 7-day moving average right here, pushing up on the 20-day right here. That's this green line, pushing up on the 20 there. It's got a lot of potential. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this. So weekly resistance test zone would be up here at 420. So it's still got a good amount of push that it can go. Somewhere in this zone up here between 420 and 600. Now this is again weekly, so it could take a month, 2 months to get up here. But I mean, it's got a lot of. I mean, this is a really nice weekly chart right here, and it's got a lot of potential. BTC is pumping. Okay, we'll skip CDT then, because I just not not too fond of these lower time frame charts. I'd like to see somewhere around between 170 and about 190 retest for support. So I'll make a note of that. But you said Bitcoin is pumping. Where's the pump? This looks like chop. Okay, but since we're on Bitcoin, I mean, we'll go ahead and we'll look at this. So the 2-day that I had just a second ago, we're looking awfully bearish right here on the 2-day. You can see a heavy resistance zone right here that right here that we failed to get a close over. This is 2-day, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Going on 2 weeks now almost that we have failed to get a close over 12,000, and it looks like it's wanting to cross bearish there. RSI. Note the bearish divergence here on the RSI. You must be looking at a low time frame. Oh, ETH is pumping. Yeah, I like this. This is good news for alts, as I believe somebody always said that if Ethereum pumps, altcoins follow, and altcoins pump too. Andrew, middle finger back to you, buddy. Nice breakout on ETH though. This is good news to see. But as far as Bitcoin, again, if we go back to the weekly, weekly has got all kinds of mixed signals here. Flat histograms right here for the last 3 weeks. So I don't know what's going to happen on the next push, if this is finally going to just give out and the bears win. I mean, zooming out, let me get all these out. Zooming out, you see weakness here, but we're still in uptrend. The 7-day moving average has not rounded out yet on that time frame. Ooh, RSI is straight in the dirt here on the 4-day. Look at the nasty curl over right there. That's not a good sign. So I want to see the next 4-day candle, and I want to see the next 7-day moving average, because I bet you it may possibly start to round out. I mean, this was a very monstrous push, and I think a lot of people are expecting this zone to retest for support right here. Somewhere in this zone here would be a good place for Bitcoin to fall back to. 3-day, I mean, you see the 7-day moving average is already rounding out there, not quite there. I'm kind of just blowing through these real quick here, guys. But the 7-day did almost bounce off the 20-day here and did get a push up. So the daily is showing mixed signals. Looks like every time frame below it is probably showing mixed signals too. Look at the 12-hour right here, trying to curl up and pump also. A lot of mixed signals. So I think the big key on Bitcoin is going to be the next weekly candle. Oops, that's 5-day. So I think, yeah, the next big signal is going to be the weekly candle here, but we won't see it for another 6 hours or so. But it looks like on all these medium time frames is just a lot of chop. Because one thing to note right here is we're making lower highs. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't know who's going to try to play that off as anything, really. Could go as far back as there. But if we continue to make lower highs under this trend line right here, not going to be pretty. See the MACD here. Yeah, this just looks like a lot of chop. It's not showing a lot of confidence either way. He's about to buy WAN now, but wouldn't buy it the last like 2 weeks that I've been saying buy WAN. But that, I mean, that's fine if you wait for a little bit more confirmation, a little bit more strength. There's nothing wrong with that. Real quick though, let's check out Ambrosis. We got Ambrosis and then Neo to look at, and then ICX on a request. And I'm starting to get a storm, so I hope it doesn't knock out power like it always does. Ooh, I like that better. That's cool. Okay, Ambrosis. All right, so Ambrosis looks pretty good. I like it. Look at that. This is the weekly here, guys. So weekly did cross bullish here. And if you'll notice, a lot of altcoins are starting to outperform Bitcoin. If their algos are ready and their charts say that they're going to pump, they're not going to give a shit whether Bitcoin is pumping or dumping. The bots will turn on. Look at the kick up in the OBV right here. Very nice. So if this holds right here, again, I want to see another weekly candle. So I want to see tonight's weekly candle to see if this paints another bullish doji. If it does, I'd have a good bit more confidence that AMB is finally going to go on its reversal. Nice 5-day. Look at the RSI trying to get back up into the purple zone. I should make this green, just call it the green zone. OBV inching up to Noza, let me see what you got here. Very, very good on the trend lines. Very nice. Good double bottom support hold here. Okay. You love that 618 fib, don't you? I mean, yeah, this is a resistance zone, and you can see how the fib lines do fall in a resistance zone, and you see the cutting right through the bottoms of these candles, tops of these candles, and the tops here. And if this fib line continued out, it'd catch the bottoms of these wicks and the tops of these candles here, right here on that fib line. And if you see this fib line, it's right here through this resistance zone. So you can see here, how fib lines still fall on resistance zones. So they kind of can also give you an idea of potential targets too. See the 786 up here right off of, I'm assuming this is the 100-day way up here. So I would agree with this as a target. This is a very nice target, and from this price here is obviously very good profits. Excuse me. So since Noza already has that drawn, what day was that daily? So since Noza already has that drawn, and there may be some people out here who don't know how he got that. Okay, so what he did was he took a trend line from here down to, I would go from candle body to candle body. He went from the wick. And he went from the wick up here to catch these wicks. That's fine too. I prefer candle bodies, but it's not bad. Okay, so we are in a triangle wedge pattern. We are in the apex, which is this pointy end down here. If anybody doesn't know that term, look at price action. Lots of building up right here. This is called consolidation. and we look for targets. So I'm going to say we're going to retest this wick up here and the bottoms of these candles here. Okay, and then as Noza had a target up there, and then a target somewhere up here, bottom, tops. And then Noza had his on the fib line at 612, I believe it was. So let's see where that lands. What the hell? Okay, well, yeah, it's same area. I just went to the bottom. He just went just a tad up to actually catch that fib. So 600 would still be a good price to get out for that as a reversal. And so then we can look at the indicators to see if they back those up. So OBV. Everybody should have access to this. If you don't, just DM me or something, your TradeView name, and I'll get you added. There's nothing really different or special about this OBV. It still is the same as the on balance volume indicator, which is free on TradeView, but you can just see that the difference. The lines are exactly the same. The difference is just the colors, and it signals red for bear and then green for bullish, but it still reads the same. But in any case, A and B, look at the confluence zone here, even on the OBV, crossing into bullish territory. So OBV is backing up that we're going to catch a reversal. MACD, green histograms, they're getting taller. So this is also a good sign. And I'm putting these in simple terms that you guys can understand here. Okay, green, they're dark green and they're getting taller. That's bullish. So I'm trying to put these in newbie terms for, like Andrew or something who has no idea what any of us are talking about ever. Let's see, you got another chart. No, that's the same chart, Noza. Okay. Yeah, price usually does get up here to the top here. So, I mean, yeah, I can certainly agree with a push up here to inside this resistance pocket right here, and then we're going to fall back. And that's how these works. So you catch an accumulation pattern. You see price action kind of bottoming out. They're not going lower. We're actually starting to curl up here and get higher. So we're going to plop down a resistance zone. So anywhere in this zone right here, which from Noza's chart is this top line is the 0.618 and this bottom line is like the 0.5 or something. Probably close. Maybe just a little bit off. But within this pocket, so nice accumulation pattern here. Indicators are signaling that we're going to push up. This would be our resistance zone. So somewhere between 530, 540 and about 610, 600, 615 or so is where we want to start looking to take profits. And then we just wait. We watch price action where the price rejects. So as Noza pointed out, if I can get my mouse right, so somewhere up here we are looking at about 71% potential profits. With DCX, of course, if anybody is using DCX, that is about 280% profits. So I think I may even grab a bag of A and B too. And I think Palm Venice Beach or something also shilled them about a week ago or so when they came out with their chipless technology. So I would expect maybe to see something from Tiki Tawari do one of his coin reviews, because anytime that guy puts out a coin review, whatever coin it is, I'm pretty sure he's the one pumping it, and he pumps it about 200% or so. So Noza and I agree here on this resistance zone up here. And then we're going to watch to see price action to see if it rejects. And if it rejects, this is where we want to watch for support for a rebuy to rebuild our bag. So we will be picking up about 25 to 30% extra in coins. And then voila, we just wait for the next big push up or to see if it makes another low. So this is what we got for A and B. Breakout point right here at 420. Oh, I'm sorry, that's just first target. This is our breakout point at 377. I don't know why this is so big. Okay. We already looked at Bitcoin. NEO. NEO was one a request. NEO, both on Bitcoin pair and US dollar pair, is, I mean, I don't even know what to say about this one anymore. This looks like a weird, funky looking, I mean, well, it's not funky looking, but this is certainly shaping up into a bear pennant right here. So, I mean, look at the indicators, and this is again on the 3-day. Histogram weakening, RSI weakening, OBV is weakening. It hasn't quite crossed bearish yet. 4-day doesn't show that much on the weakness. Weekly is still showing a bullish uptrend. However, the OBV is starting to hit in the dirt too. So this may very well may be on its way to a slow grind somewhere for a near double bottom again. So this may be on its way to retest these wicks down here. God, how did NEO get so ugly looking? A lot of chop here on the daily. But the higher time frames just are not really supporting a big push. I mean, this would need, well, it is kind of holding. Look at this zone right here. Look at all the support here and the support here, and it's retesting this support here. So it may and could actually, let me fix this here. So it may and could actually kind of just bounce around inside this wedge here and then actually might even retest it again if this support zone right here holds. So I would be very cautious on the Bitcoin pair if you're in NEO, that it could get ugly if it breaks below this support line here at 1466. I'd be very cautious. If it does in fact break that, let me go back to the 2-day here. If it does in fact break that support, I would be curious to see if it falls all the way back here to 1340 to test. Let's look at the US dollar pair. US dollar pair, or the USDT pair, looks even uglier. Ooh. Okay, so NEO did come up and at least test that first resistance zone around $20. I think obviously from that previous note, the last we looked at it was somewhere around here, around that $12, $13 range. So if you see this big red zone, did come up and test even the top of the resistance zone. So this is what we were pointing out for, like A and B or something. So we got the big cluster of confluence zone. Watch for a test up to the top of it before falling back down. And that's what NEO did here. So NEO is not on the US dollar pair, doesn't look all that great. You can see the MACD heading into a downtrend. So now we want to watch for a support resistance flip and see if we catch one. And I don't really like that right there, so I want to say that we might come back down and retest the support zone right back down here. back down around $10 up to about $12 to $13. So I want to see this zone right here test. Yeah, I'm with you, Nose. I don't like NEO too much either. Let me see what you got for your NEO. Okay, so your fib line, you got a fib line. Well, that's the bottom. This is the Bitcoin pair. Was this the bottom of the bottom here? Oops. Oh, well, crap. That's the USD pair. Okay, so down at 12. Okay, yeah, so that is the bottom of the bottom. I was just wondering if this was the all-time lows or if there was another low down here to draw off of. 'Cause it looks like there's a gap right here. So I would expect this zone to retest right here. Let's see, it's USD pair. So that would put, roughly between the 10 and 1250 zone. On the Bitcoin pair, yep, I can see that right there. Give me the line. I want the line. Test of that wick down at 1330 or so. But you had your little magic fibs at 1384. That would be at the bottom of these candles right there. Which is also plausible, yeah. I mean, it made a nice pocket. So you got a pocket right here between these wicks and the bottom of these candles. So we could even aim, right there at the bottom of these candles, even right there on this wick, somewhere in this zone right here. Because it's not looking great for NEO, even on the BTC pair. Certainly heading into a downtrend. A lot of struggle here to get some candle closes above some wicks, but no real candle close. So I might suspect this to come down, build some strength up in this zone, and then get that second push up right there. And it looks like it's well on its way. See if there's a monthly. Okay, so this is monthly on Binance. Ugh, that does just look nasty. A daily close at 1571? Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Not given the looks of this to 1571. You're asking for a 7% push, 6% push. I don't know, that's definitely not going to happen with MACD, RSI, and OBV all in a downtrend. So I would suspect to catch a near double bottom, or like you said, a double bottom fully. I would watch this zone here first to see if this zone is. I mean, this is going to be the first test of support right here. So if we break this support zone here, I would certainly consider possible even new all-time lows. But however, oh, now it shows me the month. Oh, this is the BTC pair. Did we have a monthly? Okay, so dang. All right, so this is the dollar pair on NEO. This is looking at monthly. So still nothing really as far as chart history go, but you can see this whatever this little tick is in the OBV in an uptrend, and we are making some higher lows right here, even on the monthly side. So this almost looks like Bitcoin did. Yeah, look at that. So this is comparing Bitcoin monthly and NEO monthly. So this whole little structure right here of just a lot of weakness, a lot of indecision looks a lot like Bitcoin did before it went on its monstrous tear. Uh-oh. Look at the RSI on the monthly there. It's not really showing a whole lot of extra push there. So this little section right here, this little fractal piece, looks a lot very similar right here to the NEO part. So this still could possibly have some legs left in it. On the monthly time frame, of course, though. But however, granted, 2-day chart here, lower time frames, I'm certainly going to expect this resistance or this support zone right here to get tested again. So if you're playing USD pair for NEO, this is what I'd be watching. If we go back to the BTC pair, oh, the BTC pair stayed. Okay, cool. Still got our marks made. I'm gonna take that off and take that off. No doubt, even the BTC pair is in a downtrend. Look at the OBV dropping off. RSI curling down, MACD curling down. Now again, it may not mean that it's going to make some new all-time low way down there. All the MACD could do is just get one little dip for a reset and then get that second push up. But no doubt, even on the Bitcoin pair, this looks like it's going to retest this support zone right there. And that's what I see for NEO. All right, so we had an ICX request. Okay, so this is Bitcoin pair for ICX. Let's see what it says. Okay, OBV, uptrend. RSI, uptrend. MACD, look at that. That's about a near cross right there. If we look at price action, built a nice base and held some support here for, let's see, this is as far back as about going on 2 weeks now almost. So pretty good little support structure right there. It's an ugly trend line. I don't like going from that candle up there. It's not solid enough to go from here, but we'll make it work. Let me change that to pink. So it doesn't look bad. Doesn't look bad. However, I'm not going to get too confident because I can already see where our breakout point is right here. So we got to get somewhere up here over 300. Let's just call that 300. Damn it. I didn't mean to delete the line either. I don't know why it's deleting it. Okay, so if you're in ICX, the 2-day does look pretty good. If you're not in ICX and want to wait for a little bit more confidence in the price, I would certainly consider getting in if it breaks over 300 and gets a little bit of strength above. And this one's kind of easy to see where the resistance zone is. It's going to be up here. So this looks like we're getting ready for the next round of August type pushes. Making lows, lows, lows. Everything is cheaper. So it's easier to get good pumps and good profits out of them. Pump them up and then dump them right back down. So it doesn't look bad. ICX actually doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty good. 3-day backing up that 2-day chart there. RSI got that curl up. OBV got the curl up. 4-day, not as strong. Well, I mean, it's starting to show the strength here. You can see the histogram getting bullish there, and all the indicators inching up. What I guess I meant to say was that this may be another 4 to 8 days before it really starts to get pushing. But overall, I think the structure looks good. Well, ICX looks like shit. And how do you figure it looks like shit? 2-day looks good. 3-day looks good. Now, I didn't say it was fully ready, but like I just said on this 4-day chart, give it another 4 to 8 days to get a little bit more strength here on the 4-day MACD. But all the time frames below it look pretty good. Weekly needs a little bit more strength too, but look, doji histogram there, or not histogram, doji candle there. Look at these two wicks, double bottom on the wicks. If you're playing the scalp though, up to this point, I mean, the 2-day and the 3-day show that it's got that reversal strength push to it. But again, the confidence for the break is over 300. So if you're not in it, I wouldn't buy until it breaks 300 and gets above it pretty well. Let's look at the USD pair. Well, yeah, I mean, I agree. I want the price to close over too, but look at the 7-day here. Let me zoom in right there. You can see it rounding out, and you can see that it's got a candle body above it here, but it's not closed yet. I mean, yeah, I agree. I want a candle body above the 7-day moving average too, which is right around there, that the 300 Satoshi mark. So if we get above that 300 mark, I consider that pretty good. Now on the 3-day, this does, if I can grab my damn thing here, where's my brush? This does have the potential to push back and dip slightly here on the next 3-day candle or so, back to that 260, 270 mark before pushing over and reversing. But I don't think it looks like shit by any means. It's just not fully ready. Yeah, I'm looking for nice scalp and swing plays too. I'm starting to get, I'm starting to set myself up for these swing plays. But even still, it's not in a bad price right here against Bitcoin even for a scalp. But I'm with you. I agree. A little bit more strength, and I'd like to see over 300. Ooh. Not too shabby on the US dollar pair. Support zone. You see support build, retested that support and hold. Looks like almost, well, I wouldn't say an almost, it is an SR flip right there. Let me turn those off right there. So you see this is the previous breakout point that it had to get over on the USD pair. So when I say breakout point, you see a cluster, then a cluster, twice rejected here, and then it finally broke above, and then now we're seeing it as a support resistance flip there. So this is a good clear example of a support resistance flip, as well as what I mean by break point. So when I draw that line and say break point, it's got to get above and close above that line, and then now you can see the consolidation pattern not breaking back down below it. Ooh, ICX staking coming in August. Ooh, I'd be interested in that. I'd just let it stake for 2-3 years when everything is moon again, and just dump it all at the top again. That'd be great. In their emails and Telegram channels. If you got more information on their staking, definitely share. I'm assuming though it's just staking. They wouldn't have a master node, but I thought all proof of work or proof of POS coins were master nodes and staking. Not proof of work. USD pair. This is really nice though. So this was a clear example, as I was saying. You know, a break point right here, because we failed to break above this point here, and we failed again here, failed again here. So this was our local resistance to break above, and then we finally broke above it, and now we're using this same line as support. So this is not bad. And you can see there the daily. Oops, trying to daily cross bull. So again, it used this support zone again here. Excuse me. So now we have to get above 43 cents. So it has to once again test over this resistance zone before really starting to get back on up here to where it belongs, close to $1. Let's see what you got here, Noza. All right, we are always grateful for your support. Thank you. Start ICX staking on August on pre-voting. That's interesting. I'd be certainly curious to look into that. I'd be interested in staking. I think that'd be pretty awesome. Okay, so I don't know whoever requested ICX. Aries, I don't know if you're still in the live stream. You didn't really tell me that if you're watching the USD pair or if you're watching the Bitcoin pair. But for USD pair, I'd watch a retest of this resistance zone here, because you can see once and twice we fell above it. So this is getting into this. Well, this is, you know, wick off. So this is the accumulation, markup, redistribution, and then the next push should put it up here in the 70 cent range. But it has to get above this zone right here first. So your next target zones are up here. But again, it has to get above 43 cents before it can head up into this next resistance zone here. So it'll have to do something like that maybe, and then a push, and then a push. And that's how these things build. Looks pretty good on the USD pair. But again, like on the Bitcoin pair, I'd like to see a nice close or something back over to 300. Back over to 300, you could most likely see upwards in this zone up here. Okay, T-Fuel real quick. And then I got to post all of this stuff. Not too much chart history on T-Fuel. Looks like it is struggling. Again, right there, there's your break point, because this wick and this wick and this over here, no close above. So it's got to get above that zone there. T-Fuel follows Theta. Oh, that's right. That's right. It is the Theta gas. Oh, Theta, you look horrible. All right, so Theta has got to hold that support right there. Well, we'll go ahead and, for Nose's sake, because, you know, he'll double bottom. So we'll throw out a double bottom scenario for Theta right there in that zone. So that's 8 hour. Let's zoom out. 3 day looks okay. But yeah, this is going to come down and likely retest this zone and get back up. It may only scrape the top of it here too. But you can see 7 days not fully rounded out, is still pushing the price down. 2 day getting there. I'd like to see it at least scrape the top here off of these wicks, because you can see here on the 2 day, all of these candle bottoms, these full candle body closes, are around roughly the same price. So I'd like to see it scrape the top of this, maybe even just to 1,000 Satoshi. Let's see what's there. Okay, so this is that support zone. 993 was the top of it, and this is probably somewhere close to the bottom. Decent bid support. Nothing on the ask side, so it's got that potential. So if T-Fuel follows Theta, and Theta is in a downtrend, likely to retest probably the top of this here, like I said, or maybe even the bottom. And if T-Fuel follows, wow, it really does. It almost looks identical. So then this is going to be your support zone that we're going to retest here. There's the bottom of the support zone, and here's the top. So you're just going to have to watch what happens as it gets into this zone right here. Look at the 4-hour. Unless, you know, a pump group or something gets a hold of this, watch it to test down here in the 70s again. This is Theta. Yeah, once again, we're on the same page there, Noza. Yeah, I agree. So this was the bottom, this was the breakout, and like we always say, if you miss the first pump, don't worry about it. You buy the retest of support, and it looks like it's coming down into that support zone. So right there in that 950, 970 zone that we talked about is where I would even look to buy Theta. To match that up with T-Fuel, well, it's going to be roughly that's the same. So it's going to fall back into the support zone just off the bottom of the bottom. So anywhere in the 70s looks like a good grab. I would shoot probably for 76 to be on the safe side, just somewhere in the middle right here, because there could be some pretty heavy walls as you get closer to 73, 74-ish or something. So I would watch for that, for a rebuy zone. See if this zone right here holds. If you're not playing leverage, then I don't think you have too much to worry about, because if it does retest that bottom, you know, you're 6, 7, 8% from it. So I would watch it as it inches closer down. Books look like pure shit. All right, so here's 71, 72, so that's where you got some pretty heavy walls. So that 76, 74 range, as mentioned, is where you would probably, good God almighty, if it breaks below 70, it's going to the floor. You could probably set a low bid somewhere here, and you might get lucky on like some kind of flash crash wick like we always see. But right now, the books are in the Bears' favor right here, and this is your last hope right here. If it breaks below 70, it's going to the floor. So I would place your bid right here, as mentioned, between 73, 76, with a stop loss, please. Noza says 79. Yeah, 79 in that little gap right there isn't too bad. Where's my chart? Which would be kind of up close to the top of the support zone. I would probably try to shoot for somewhere in that middle, around that 76 range. But just watch it as it comes to this zone, because like I said, if it breaks 70 right here, it's going to go to the floor. Okay, my throat hurts. I got a lot of these I got to catch up on and post back out there now. So I'm going to post these and get these out there for you guys. And then we're good to go. We'll just watch how the week develops. You like T-Fuel better than Theta. Well, you said that they follow each other, so I don't know how you can like one more than the other. Oh, I just kicked my cat in the face. I didn't know he was down at my feet. Okay, so let me post these, and then I'm gonna take a little break, and then I'll be back around a little bit later if anybody has any other questions or anything. Thanks, guys.